In today's video, I want to talk about how this is how you're going to know that your manifestation is actually closer than you think. And now, before I start this video, I want to say this, okay? I myself am on a manifesting journey, okay? But I am a conscious creator. And I call it a manifesting journey because it is a journey. It is. And I'm going to be making a video as to why manifestation is also self-love, okay? I want to talk more deeper about that. I want to go deeper into it because there's a lot of things I've been learning, because manifestation is not about getting, it's about becoming, not getting, okay? So first off, I want to start off by saying this, that these are mistakes that I made when I was manifesting, when I first started. Well, not even first started, because I've always been a conscious creator, but these are mistakes that I actually did make without necessarily taking the time to realize what I was doing until I started to learn more about it. I started to learn more about manifestation over the years. I started to study more of it. I started to read a lot of Neville Goddard. I started to, read about Napoleon Hill. I started to understand the law of attraction as well. I studied Bob Proctor, and I would listen to a lot of motivational speakers who would talk about, they would talk about the law of attraction. Everybody talked about manifestation in a different way, So the one thing that a lot of people want to know is, what is the biggest sign to know that your manifestation is about to happen? And I want to tell you this, and I don't want to, for one, it's not no bullshit from the law of assumption community. I don't even want to be a part of a community. This is just me basically discovering more of who I am and more of my capabilities and my spiritual abilities and what I am able to actually create and expand in my life, So this is why I wanted to make this video. So the number one sign, a lot of people could talk about synchronicities. We've heard about, many coaches can say, if you see 1111, you see 1212, you see 222. Or if you're manifesting a person, or if you're manifesting a car, you'll see the car, whatever. But the number one biggest sign that a lot of people don't pay attention to is the calmness. When everything is still, right? See, if you are still in the state of anxious attachment, then you're not there yet. And it's totally fine. It's nothing wrong with that, because I was in your position as well. I knew already that the confirmation wasn't outside of me. I didn't need to see synchronicities. I didn't need to see signs to know that my manifestation was unfolding right before my very eyes, right? I came to a point, this happened today to me, actually. I came to a point where I was at peace, and I've never felt so at peace. I did receive a bit of a bad news from my job, but it's not too bad. It's actually pretty good news. It's bad, but it's good, but it's not bad. But I'm not going to say what the news was, but all I can say is that I have shifted my inner reality. And the way that I've noticed that I've shifted my inner reality is that I have a calmness about me. Anything that may happen to me that I have no control over, I don't look at it as a bad thing. Instead, I look at this as a stepping stone or a preparation to prepare me for what is about to happen. And I know that my manifestation is unfolding in real time because I had this certainty within myself. My intuition was spot on. I was able to think about things before they actually happened. Certain people popped up before it actually happened. Just the exact same way that I envisioned things to be. I noticed that my inner reality is now syncing with my outer reality because I've been focusing on my my subconscious beliefs. I've been focusing on changing my inner state of how I've seen myself over the past few years. I had to turn off the fan because it was distracting me. And basically, I used to perceive myself in such a negative way. And if you are a OG subscriber, then you would know that I talked about how when I was a kid, I wrote down negative things about myself, about how I was ugly, I wasn't attractive, I was dumb. I wrote these negative things about me. And I thought those things because that's what I was being told when I was a kid. I was always being told I was stupid, I was dumb, and I wasn't going to amount to anything, right? So that imprinted on my subconscious, and that later on started to, the way that I was thinking started to become how I started to feel about myself, and I started to act that way. And when I met people, or when people came into my life, they would just mirror that. But when I was a kid, I didn't know that. I didn't know that was what was happening. Even when I started, even as, you know, being an adult and growing up, now I actually noticed that a lot of this was just only a reflection of what I felt about myself. At one point, I did not love myself. I am still learning to be, I'm still coming out of a very uncomfortable, an uncomfortable state with sitting by myself and sitting alone with my thoughts. It was always the hardest thing for me to do, right? Because I was that person that always needed to be on the phone with someone, or I needed to feel as if though I was wanted, and I needed to feel wanted by others. But now when I was sitting, you know, when I was at the train station today, I realized to myself that I have changed, not just only how changed my self-conception, how I perceive myself, my thoughts, but I changed how I view myself, and I changed how I treat myself. Okay, wait, go back. That was the same thing as my thoughts. Not just only that, I didn't change just the view of how I viewed myself, but I changed how I started to treat myself. Okay? Now, and the way I did that was, there was an individual, and we was off and on with the friendships, I used to actually like this individual. I used to have feelings for this specific person, and I used to chase after this specific person, and I used to put her on a pedestal. And everyone would just tell me, bruh, she just doesn't want you, right? But I always saw myself as not being wanted, the person that wasn't chosen, the person that wasn't seen, the person that wasn't valued. I saw myself that way, and that was only what was being mirrored back to me. So now that I actually have been changing my inner reality, and I've been really loving myself and really starting to treat myself a lot better than what I was, creating healthier boundaries, taking accountability for my actions, being honest, being not just honest, but transparent with how I feel, checking in with myself, with my mental health, even my physical health, because still my physical health, I'm working on that as well. And becoming self-aware, I'm now noticing that, wow, what I've affirmed, what I've been doing, the things that I've been doing behind closed doors with my journaling, with me being able to meditate. And I'm not saying that these are things that you guys have to do, but this is what I needed to work on within myself, taking care of my inner child. And, you know, even with me overcoming my depression, but I didn't just overcome my depression. It's like I beat it. Like with my suicidal thoughts, I got to the root of the problem of why I kept feeling the way that I was feeling, why I always tended to go back to seek back into that same mindset and that old story of wanting to end my life. And now when I got to the root of the problem, I started to really put the pieces of the puzzle together. And I said, now I see why I've come to this point in my life of where I am now. how I'm able to be more calm, how I'm able to, I still have moments where I wouldn't say I pop off, but I do get upset. I'm a spiritual being going through a human experience. It's totally understandable. But one thing I noticed was that before I was so quick to walk away and be willing to just like, not want to look at my mistakes or my errors and what I did. But now I'm willing to see that. Now I'm able to see when somebody is gaslighting me. I'm able to see when somebody is manipulating me emotionally. And I'm able to know, and I now see that because I've lived through it. Everything that I lived through, everything that I went through was leading me up to where I am now. And at this point, that's why I'm telling you, at this point in my life, I can honestly say that, yes, I do love myself. And I love myself because I didn't give up on myself. There are moments where I'm still working on myself. I haven't figured it all out yet. No, it's a journey. It's not a destination. Self-love is not a destination. It's a journey, right? Just like manifestation, it's a journey. It's not a destination. It's not about getting. It's not even about becoming. It's about remembering who you are. And knowing that when it comes to love, you don't need another individual or something outside of you to prove that you are worthy enough. When it comes to success, you don't need people's validation and you don't need other people's praises. Look within yourself, look within your heart, and you know that you're moving from authenticity. You know that you're moving from a place of purpose. You know that you're moving from a place of being truthful, of being transparent, and you know that you're putting the work in. And you're doing that and you're showing up even when in doubt, even when in fear, even when you're anxious, you still decide to show up. I decided to show up even while I was going through my depression. It was really difficult for me. I shut out a lot of people. And the reason I brought that individual up is because I didn't want to shame her in any kind of way, but I cut ties with her because she is not in an alignment with where I'm at right now. Spiritually, she is not in alignment with me. I noticed immediately she wasn't able to take accountability for her actions. She gaslighted me and tried to make me feel as if though I was the problem. When in reality, I said, instead of me now noticing, like the old me would have been like trying to explain and trying to keep this person and trying to hold on to something that no longer is in alignment with where I'm headed to and where I'm headed to in my life and is a part of my purpose. I decided to stay quiet and leave it alone. And I noticed that when I had a conversation with my boss today, she mirrored everything that I was telling myself, that I was irreplaceable, unforgettable. People miss me. I'm easily forgiven. I am loved. I am seen. I am valued. Everything that I have been embodying, it is not even only affirming, but I've embodied the state of truly feeling as if though, yes, I am wanted, I am seen, and I am valued. But that's because I chose to put myself first, to prioritize myself. I chose to prioritize my mental health. And this was the sign that I knew. The sign was when I came to a point of where I am at now. I am at peace. I'm no longer looking for signs. I'm no longer in the state of wanting because I already know that it exists. I already know that it's done. So it's unfolding as we speak. And when you have that inner knowing, you know that you've changed. You know that you have transitioned from the old story into the new story because you now feel that stillness. You no longer are looking for any validation. You are no longer searching for a sign to tell you whether or not what you want already exists, that your new reality is real, that what you've been creating is happening in this very moment. You no longer are in that wanting state. You're in the Sabbath state where you're resting, you're enjoying your life, and the only focus is you right now. So that is your sign. The confirmation is you. You are the sign. No one else is the sign. You are the sign. Yes, it's okay to see angel numbers. Yes, it's okay to see their name. Yes, it's okay to see things that they might like. Yes, it's okay to see the car that you wanted to purchase. Yes, it's okay to see the house. Yes, it's okay for somebody to talk about this, talk about marriage or a baby that you want to, whatever you're creating. Yes, that's fine. But you'll know that it's unfolding right before your very eyes when you are calm and you are no longer looking for external sources to prove to you that your manifestation exists. You are at peace. You know when you've shifted into your new reality, when you were at peace. You'll know when you have stepped into, you'll recognize who you are. You'll know that you're in that state of remembering who you are, what you deserve. When you are at peace. It doesn't matter what happens outside of you that you can't control. Your tire can have a flat. Okay, no problem. Your SP can block you. Or the person that you want to manifest and you don't even know them ends up in a relationship. You're like, okay, that's fine. I'm okay. I'm okay because I know that what I want wants me. I'm okay because I know, because I am the confirmation. So that is how you know that your manifestation is closer than you think. That one sign is when you are no longer seeking what you desire, but you have detached from the fear, the anxiety, the worry, and the doubts. And if doubt arises, you redirect your attention and your focus to what you've already created because it exists. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Peace.